If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen,
country, and video games. BRB UK.
Worse teeth,
better accents.
Hello and indeed. Ahoy hoy, ladies, gentlemen, and other assorted denizens of the internet. This is a podcast. It is episode 281 of this podcast, and this podcast is BigRedBarel UK. I am Dan, one of your hosts, and I'm also joined by Coleman.
Hi!
Did you notice the presence of an unusually orderly intro to this podcast? It's because Tim's not here yet.
Am I meant to yell over you and stuff?
Yeah, you meant to. Like me. Like So Tim is going to join us later, unless
281.
That's actually a pretty good impression. Unless we can prove to him that he holds proceedings up and get done with recording before he gets here. So Coleman, that's our challenge.
Well, we're going to try do the podcast before he gets back.
Just for comedy value.
So it might be a 20-minute long episode.
It could be a 20-minute episode. If you're expecting about a half hour more rambling than you get this week, I'm sorry. But we'll see how far we go. Right, Coleman, shall we crack on with the news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Apparently, you accused me of being Jeremy Clarkson earlier, and I can't quite seem to shake it, which is in the world.
Meanwhile,
right. So, so System Shock.
System Shock.
System Shock Remaster.
Did you ever play System Shock, Dan?
I think I did back in the day. I know. It's. Yeah, I think I did.
Well, I've always been a console pleb, apart from my Amiga days, so I didn't really play much PC stuff.
I had a brief dalliance with PC gaming in the mid-90s to early thousands.
Okay, well, I had a housemate that was really into System Shock and System Shock 2, and he played through those while I watched, basically. But yeah, I get System Shock. So, what was it, 2016, 15? They announced that there was going to be a System Shock sequel and a System Shock remaster. So, remaster of the first game and System Shock 3 in the works. The remaster had a Kickstarter campaign, which was successful. It made $1.3 million.
That's a lot of millions.
And now it's been put on hiatus. So, it looks like Night Dive Studios, what their intention was to raise money to put enough work in to start the game and then shop around for a publisher. And that doesn't seem to have worked in their favour. So the plan is to now put the game on the shelf and work away on it in a different style that can suit their budget, and then maybe find a different publisher along the way.
So one bloke on evenings and weekends.
Yeah,
in between his day job.
That's
much.
why Tim's not here. He's working on the System Shock remaster.
Oh, nice one, Tim.
Yeah.
Can I just congratulate Night Drive Studios CEO on really getting behind the whole Kickstarter thing and changing his surname? I'm assuming he did that because he's called Stephen Kick.
Oh right, I see. Stephen Kickstarts.
He could have been Stephen Kick. Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's good.
It is. You know, that may not be the case.
Lovely.
It probably isn't the case. In fact, it is almost certainly not the case.
Yes, that's the way I think they've gone around this. They basically said that they're shelving the game to take a different tactic to it, but we'll see.
I love corporate speak. Yeah, we can't afford to employ anybody, so we're going to work on it in an innovative, open-ended way.
We promise we've not run away with $3 million.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 1.3.
1.3, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, still $0.3 million is still quite a lot of cash.
Yeah. It's more than I've got, so makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think what's happened here, I think the Kickstarter bubble broke a long time ago, and this is one of those examples of something that was funded 2 years ago and people are still waiting on. You know, it wasn't necessarily behind target or anything, but because it's a big name, people have put money to it, expecting this one not to be something that does get shelved, that does get cancelled, that does disappoint. And I think you're going to see more examples of this. Shenmue 3.
But also, I think part of the problem is as well, people are so used to things being announced and coming out relatively quickly these days. Whereas actually, it's kind of with this System Shock Remaster and also with Shenmue 3, I kind of think like the zeitgeist has fizzled out.
Well, it's still within 2 years, so the hype cycle is still less time than the original Watch Dogs.
The hypometer.
Hypometer. It's running low.
You're right. It needs more hype. More hype. Put more hype into the hype meter.
But System Shock 3 is still going ahead so far. That's a different studio, I believe.
But yeah, but I quite like the. I mean, the quote from Stephen Kick, the CEO of Night Rider Studios, he's not helping himself here, because his quote does make it sound like they've just gone on a mind-altering bender with the $1.3 million. It's like saying, yeah, we're totally committed to making a great game, but the changes and increased scope drove us down the wrong path.
Again, I think they shot for the sun thinking, hey, if we make a really expensive vertical slice and then shop around to publishers, we'll get more money. I think that was the intention.
Yeah, didn't work though, did it?
Nope.
Didn't work?
Nope.
Didn't work?
No.
Talking of not working.
Streamers.
Millennial streamer sues Twitch over suspension. James, quote, Phantom Lord, that's Lord with a 0, Varga, because that's how you know he's
because he has 0
chap.
lordships.
Indeed. Is suing Twitch after his account was suspended in July 2016. This is all caught up in the Counter-Strike Go gambling controversy.
Yeah, not the same one, not the one we heard about with Pro Syndicate and all that kind of stuff. A completely different controversy. There were several gambling sites that seem to have popped up, many of which were endorsed by or owned by different Twitch streamers, and this is one of them. So, yeah, he started himself a CSGO skin gambling website that could very well make you lose a lot of money because CSGO gambling, CSGO skins in general can be quite expensive, like thousands of dollars worth. And, he did a stream showing himself playing the game. Hey, guys, I found this brand new gambling site for CSGO. It's great. Give it a try.
Let me put some stuff in it. Oh, look, I've won.
Yeah, I totally haven't balanced the scale in my favour and also own this website, by the way.
I know, right? I mean, I'm sorry. He deserves whatever's come to him. I'm sorry. There's a technical term for people like him.
Bellend?
Clunge monkey.
Thief?
Arsehole.
Snake oil salesman?
Twat.
That's a good one.
Gasket molester.
Gasket molester.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he received a suspension for 6 months, I believe.
Which I actually think is quite generous. They didn't just permaban the arsehole.
Yeah, I think that's completely right to do so. But I think there's different stipulations when you're a Twitch partner rather than a just bog standard Twitch streamer like us. And you have a whole contract you sign into and things, terms and conditions.
That was passive-aggressive Twitch, by the way, just in case you didn't get that. Unlike us, we're not partners, but it's okay.
I mean, we have significantly less followers than this guy, so it makes sense.
I know.
So I think what's meant to happen is he's meant to, according to him and his terms and conditions being a Twitch partner, is he's meant to receive notifications saying that he's going to be suspended, or if there's determination, or if there's any kind of outage that's self-imposed. And he didn't receive that. And it just happened. He just wasn't on Twitch one day and got a notification later after the suspension saying, "Hey, you've been suspended."
Hey, dickhead.
Yeah.
You've been suspended for being a dickhead.
Well, they didn't even say for being a dickhead. And he had to look into it, and later on found that the real reason was because he was streaming non-gaming content, which is a bit BS in Twitch talk, because they stream Bob Ross episodes and things on there.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, do their morning shows and stuff. None of that's gaming content. And
didn't Twitch release kind of like a live vlogging app thing where you can let everyone know what you're up to from your phone and never get away from the constant 24/7 surveillance which you are voluntarily subjecting yourself to, courtesy of a small chance of actually making it in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, Twitch even do a small partnership with Impact Wrestling, who they show wrestling content on Twitch as well. That's not gaming content as far as I'm aware. Anyway, all this is basically James Varga is now going to sue Twitch. He's started litigation already, and you can find the document that's been filed already if you want to read on that online.
Oh, please tell me he insists on going by the name Phantom Lord instead of his normal name. That would be amazing.
That would be funny.
In court, that would be amazing. That would be great.
American court as well, where you got to swear on the Bible and all that kind of stuff. Do you swear your name is James Phantom Lord Varga? Yes. No, wait.
It's just Phantom Lord, you.
Anyway, yeah. So I kind of see where he's coming from. At the same time, I don't want to see him get any kind of money for this because CS:GO gambling, dickhead, blah 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 blah. Influencing on children, all that kind of stuff.
At the end of the day, he portrayed something in a manipulative, dishonest way that was completely designed not to entertain the masses, but just to, earn him some money very easily, and preying on perhaps the sensibilities of some people who look out for kind of these gambling opportunities for kind of cosmetic items. So shame on him. I'm sorry, there's no which way you can cut it. The guy's an arsehole.
But it then depends if the courts are going to look at it from that point of view, or if it is just a contract's been broken here and this guy deserves some kind of...
Which is why I come back to why he needs to call himself Phantom Lord.
So it just gets thrown out.
Yeah, exactly. Get out.
Hey, Twitch is owned by Amazon, so good luck with that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I hear they've got pretty good legal defences.
Rumour has it.
When you don't pay taxes, you can afford quite the defence. But onto something more pleasant.
Tim Schafer.
Yeah, we love Tim Schafer.
Yeah, beardy bundle of fun.
Who doesn't love Tim Schafer?
That beardy, chubby funster.
Tim Schafer co-created one of my favourite games of all time.
What's one of your favourite games of all time?
The Secret of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Or LeChuck's Revenge. Yeah, I know, I said LeChuck.
That's his brother.
LeChuck. I'll do, I'm LeChuck.
LeChuck just turns up with my buddy Kevin Chuck and Bob
I'm
Chuck.
pirate.
Yar!
Sit on me cutlass, fair young maiden. Anyway, Tim Schafer.
Yes.
The gaming BAFTAs are coming in April.
The GAFTAs, as I like to call them.
The GAFTAs.
The GAFTAs.
We tend to have some coverage on the website about that. Some videos and what have you in the past. One of the videos you can see on BigRedBarel.com is an interview at the BAFTAs with Tim Schafer, who will be there this year to receive the highest accolade from BAFTA, which is a fellowship.
A FAFTA.
A FAFTA. A FAFTA GAFTA.
A FAFTA GAFTA.
Maybe not diminish his accomplishments.
To be fair though, I think Tim Schafer is one of the guys in the world most likely not to take himself seriously. I think he'd be quite pleased at getting a WAFTA GAFTA.
A WAFTA GAFTA. No, wait, a FAFTA GAFTA.
A FAFTA GAFTA.
FAFTA GAFTA. A gaming fellowship.
If you get a membership, it's a MAFTA. I could go on.
And if you're Tim Schafer, it's a
SHAFTA.
A TAFTA SHAFTA.
A TAFTA SHAFTA. A MAFTA TAFTA shaft. Anyway,
a fellowship.
Before this descends into euphemisms, we all know where that's going, don't we? We know that's where we're going to end up.
So a fellowship is something that is given to someone that represents an outstanding and exceptional contribution to films, games, or television. Previous recipients in the gaming industry include Shigeru Miyamoto, John Carmack.
Never heard of him.
John Carmack was not last year, the year before, I think. Gabe Newell.
No idea.
And Peter Molyneux.
Oh, I know him. He's a bit of a twat.
Yeah, I think he was awarded that before the whole issue with Goddess and stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe in the work up to that.
Has anything ever happened to Goddess?
It's still going.
Is it? Is that poor bloke who won a seat round the table?
No, he's never going to get anything.
No.
No.
So he spent far too long in his life tapping on a box for no reason whatsoever. Well,
because he didn't join in like everyone else. If I remember this story correctly, this guy wasn't particularly like a big gamer or anything. His friends were all playing Curiosity, and he went, what's this? Let's give it a try. Downloaded it, tapped a couple of times, and won. So that was a thing that happened. But he didn't actually, I don't think he actually won anything. He got to go to the studios, and that was it so far.
So there's Goddess and Goddess Wars now.
Yes, Goddess Wars was the second. I don't know if that was kickstarted or if that was just sold straight away. But the Goddess was still in early access, and Goddess Wars came out, and that caused a lot of controversy and the whole thing where that guy interviewed Molyneux and called him a pathological liar and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean, dude's got a point.
Yeah, It depends how you look at it. Anyway. Schafer, if you want to see Tim Schafer win his award, and the rest of the BAFTAs as well, that will be streaming on the 12th of April.
A WAFTA, BAFTA, MAFTA.
I'm wondering if they're going to hold that at Tobacco Dock, because I heard something that might be separate this year from EGX Rezzed, because it's usually connected.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I don't know.
Am I too late to interrupt your intro, Dan?
Tim's back.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
No,
Ooh.
never. Never have, never will. You missed us talking about MAFTAs, Tim.
Oh, no, I so care about award ceremonies as well.
What about Tim Schafer?
Talk about that as a bit of a slapdown to Tim Schafer.
Sorry, it's not anything against the BAFTAs, it's just all award ceremonies generally bore me to tears.
Yeah, let's not insult the BAFTAs who have been really nice to send representatives from Big Red Barrel to go and get coverage.
Yes, that is true.
Keep on thinking, Tim.
That wasn't a BAFTA insult, it was a general awards insult.
Even though we keep sending
I'm not sure that makes it better, but now there you go, anyway.
Okay, good. So, chaps, does he want to go down to Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty? That is my question to you, sir.
Yes, but I'd also rather return to Burnout 2, but, hey.
Why would you want to do that?
When this got announced, and I'm kind of slightly riffing off this, and I'm not entirely serious, but everyone on Twitter just seemed to go, yeah, but Burnout 3 was better. And it's like, well, yeah, but it wasn't as online, and was it better?
No, is the answer to that.
For me, personally, I had more of an affinity to Burnout 2, because as I have previously mentioned on every occasion that I can possibly bring it up, I was number 2 in the world on the crash junctions of Burnout 2. Number 2 in the world of the crash junctions of Burnout 2.
My old housemate was number 1 in the world on Burnout Paradise. Like, on everything.
Really?
Yeah, but I remember he was a student at the time and he missed a lot of university to do it.
Yeah, because that game was hard to get anywhere on the leaderboards.
Yeah, I think it's because my housemate took him.
Yeah, what a cheeky
Just stay up all night, just beating his own score. It was insane.
I'm really
Anyway,
glad you said score.
Yep.
Glad you said
God,
score.
did me and Tim just do the same joke?
Yes.
Did the same joke.
What's happened?
You've been around
I don't like
together
it.
too long.
I feel dirty.
I blame you for that one, Dan. I think
Really,
your knob
why?
jokes are rubbing off on me.
No.
It's a horrible turn of phrase.
Anyway, Burnout Paradise, that's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but PC will be at a later date. It hasn't got a date currently.
Boo.
It will be a remaster with improved graphics and visuals. Changed score, sadly. So I don't think we're going to get Avril Lavigne's girlfriend.
No, it has been confirmed by their Twitter account that
thank God.
Avril Lavigne is returning and she still doesn't like
Is it actually Avril Lavigne, or is it the body replacement after she died?
What?
You don't know that conspiracy theory?
No,
No,
yeah, another
was that a
person who
thing?
you think's died who hasn't died, Coleman.
Yeah, one of those things. It also includes all of the DLC, so the Big Island Surf update, which I didn't think was that good. Toys, cops and robbers, motorbikes, everything absolutely that was released from the summer of Burnout, I think it was called, or the year of Burnout. That is all going to be included, and that will release on the 16th of March. If you have EA access, you'll be able to get access for 10 hours early on the 9th of March.
Yeah, I have to say, in what will entirely not disprove the case made by people going on about Ready Player One and the Back to the Future car being in that, the screenshots of the DeLorean in the
It's not a DeLorean.
Is it not?
No, it's legally different.
Okay, a legally slightly different to a DeLorean.
It's a Ladorian is what it is, Tim, I think you'll find.
Ladorian.
A Ladorian.
Ladorian Grey. Anyway, just seeing that, and I was just like, okay, I thought I might have played that in the game. I clearly never did. That looks cool. Give me some of that.
Oh, I did. I had all the DLC for that game. I really, really got into it in a big, bad way.
Yeah, I played far too much that game back in the day.
Now, the big pandemonium about this...
There's a big panda.
Outside of people going, oh, what's Burnout 3? That's their voices, trust me. Because I spotted this myself when I went to go and pre-order the game. In the description, it says, in big letters, in-game purchases optional.
Say what?
In-game purchases optional.
But are they ever really? Are they really? Are they optional?
That does allude to in-game microtransactions.
Remind me who's publishing this again?
EA. And we had people contact us on the Facebook and Twitter and stuff and say, hey, don't get too excited. They're going to make you grind for all the DLC that you're supposedly going to own. And if you want to unlock it early, you have to use microtransactions and all these different theories as to why there's microtransactions in the game. There was a report that came out from EA that said, guys, we left that in the description by mistake. There's no
we're just so used to putting it in there, right?
The word... yeah, that's quite funny, actually.
Passage from their basic template.
I believe the wording that was used was, please put your pitchforks down.
It's just a boilerplate text for our descriptions.
Yeah. So there's no microtransactions. Don't worry.
Good.
Pre-orders back
good thing
on.
to confirm.
I feel confirmed.
Good.
Anyway, moving on.
So, from Burnout Paradise, it's always baffled me why, kind of Sony make their kind of gaming platform, kind of the social aspect of it, so bloody hard to access outside of a PlayStation console. Because I think they could actually learn quite a bit from Microsoft on this. But finally, there is a browser-based version of the PSN called My PlayStation. I bet it took them ages to come up with that.
Yep.
I don't entirely understand what this is, because I can access PSN from my computer fine. Yes. Maybe not from a mobile.
You can see your profile, but you can't do diddly squat with it.
Well, I can buy a game and I can set it to downloading to my console.
What if you want to speak to
That's the PlayStation
somebody?
market. That's different.
Okay, but
we're talking about your network, your profile, your messages,
so you can access your friends list and all that type of stuff. Okay.
All that stuff is now available on the browser.
I guess I've just never wanted or tried to access any of that side of things when being online, because who cares?
I've gone to do it several times over the years and then gone, through iterations of PS3 and PS4 and gone, oh, can't do it on the browser. That seems weird. You can do it on Xbox 360 and then later on Xbox One. So, you just assume it's going to be there and it's not. But now it's there and you can do things like search for your friends, add friends, remove friends, messengers, check your trophies, edit your profile, not your gamer tag. That comes later, apparently, maybe, possibly, hopefully. But yeah, that is live.
Also, totally not gamer tags, PSN IDs.
I call everything gamer tags. You're a gamer tag.
Microsoft's brainwashing is complete.
They kind of got there first in the big branding, I think.
So I'm just verifying my identity so I can get my PlayStation action on, sir.
Good.
Cool. So while you do that, I'll move to the next one. Luigi's Balloon World, the new mini-game after finishing Super Mario Odyssey, is now live and available. It's free. If you have Mario Odyssey, go download it. As well as the Balloon World, you've got 3 new outfits that have been added to the post-game shop.
Spoilers! I didn't even know there was a post-game shop.
Wow, it's all the game shop. I think these appear after you finish the game.
Yeah.
Musician hat and outfit, sunshine shades and outfit, knight helmet and armor.
Helmet.
There's also coin and neon filters that have been added to the snapshot mode. So there you go.
Can I just say helmet again, just because I want to?
Do you want to do it one more?
What, another helmet? No,
yeah,
I can't. Stuffed, mate.
No, go on, one more.
One more what?
One more helmet, go on.
One more helmet, just slip one in.
One helmet more.
Helmet.
There you go. Mega Man Legacy Collection, which is a brilliant bundle. Well, there's 2 bundles, in fact, 1 and 2. They are going to be available on the Nintendo Switch from the 22nd of May.
Huzzah!
Switch version's going to have an added challenge mode, sound mode, museum mode, and also amiibo compatibility, which will unlock, I believe, fan versions of the game if you use either Mega Man or Gold Mega Man amiibos, which is a feature that was only available on the 3DS before.
So that's why you care about this news, rather than the Mega
I do have a Mega Man amiibo, thinking about it. I don't have the gold one, though. I didn't go in for that.
No.
Coleman don't play that like that.
Coleman talk about self in third person.
Coleman don't play like that.
Can you just get a normal Mega Man one and spray paint him gold?
Doesn't work like that, Tim.
Well, you wouldn't have the gold functionality that I assume exists, like they did with the Mario Gold functionality. That maybe will appear later in things. I don't know, Tim. Asking me about a thing I don't own. Right, one for Tim's interest.
Yay!
PlayStation VR platformer Moss. That's the nice little sort of platformy adventure game starring a mouse. That is going to launch next week on the 27th of February.
Right, that's good news and everything, but also confusing news.
Why?
Right.
Well, because if you go back a few podcasts, when Dan was getting very aggravated by me mentioning games for the next month that included a game in the non-calendar month I was mentioning.
Moss.
You remember that? I mentioned Moss coming out on the 27th of February. So either this news had been previously announced, or I accidentally said something I shouldn't have done.
You might have leaked it by accident.
You might be the reason why they had to rush it to market, Tim.
Well,
you could have single-handedly destroyed their PR strategy.
Well, no,
Do you remember when Dan had Gran Turismo delayed? It's like that.
But I'm pretty sure I got the date from PlayStation Network.
If only there was some kind of recorded back catalogue of episodes
How
where
could
we could
find that?
some kind of evidence stored historically on a website of some kind. Well, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Also, it requires effort.
It just seems...
that's the real reason.
That just seems a bit weird to me, but still good news. And anyone that's in any doubt, Moss is the game I've been going on about for a while. I think they showed off a bit more footage last week as well that I think IGN put up and a few other people, but it's looking fantastic. That's looking like a real great VR game, basically.
I look forward to playing it. Yeah, really. I wouldn't say it's worth picking up a PSVR helmet for, but I think if you have a PS...
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think any of the games in the PSVR is worth picking up a helmet for. I think several games combined is worth picking up a helmet for, but yes, if you have a PSVR helmet, go pick this up.
Definitely.
Also, I said helmet a bunch of times without Dan saying anything.
Yeah. No.
Helmet!
And lastly, in points of interest, Paramount's upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie now has a release date. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the live-action CGI hybrid movie will open in theatres on the 15th of November 2019, which puts it ahead of the Mario movie.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
To be fair, though...
The console war is back on!
Yeah, Sonic is faster than Mario, though, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, therefore he must be better.
No, he must come first.
He is better.
Right, no, he's not.
He's got attitude, Dan. He's blue with tude.
Baditude.
He's
Really?
got attitude.
Really, chaps?
Attitude.
Really?
He likes
Now,
chili
I reckon...
dogs.
But here and now, okay, we're
Here and now.
gonna do a little guess-a-thon here. What's the Metacritic score going to be for that movie?
I reckon Sonic will do well in Japan, whereas Mario will do...
Because they like The Ring?
Well, no, because Sonic movies have released in, like manga movies and stuff, have released in Japan and done really well, where they've been kind of thrown to the wayside over here.
Okay.
So I reckon the Sonic movie will do well in Japan, but over here not as well, and the Mario movie, because it's Illumination...
Just give me a Metacritic score!
will probably be... I don't know what Metacritic scores are. What's that out of? Percentages? Hundreds? 5s? 10s?
Yes, 100.
60. There you go.
What?
60 for Sonic.
No, I'm going for...
85 for Mario.
28 for the Sonic movie.
28?
28.
I've looked at Metacritic once in my life, so I couldn't tell you what an average is.
Metacritic do movies then, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so we're going in the Metacritic... I think we should... stick to this and try and come back to this in the future.
Do you want the frame of reference? Do you want the frame of reference?
No.
Yeah, what did Assassin's Creed get, Dan?
Okay, right.
That gives us a jumping point.
I'm on the internet.
Because I think this is going to get around the same score, if not a little lower, for the lack of Fassbender.
Oh, it got a 36.
Not in the Sonic movie.
36.
36.
A 36.
Oh, okay. I'm going 35 then. It's my door number. There we go. Lucky number 35.
Well, we just got to give out the street number and people are going to know where Tim lives.
Phantom Man's got a 51, though.
That's good. I reckon if we're going for the Mario thing as well, the Mario movie will score a solid 48.
Ooh. I think it's going to get 35.
What do Illumination movies usually get? What did that Life of Pets get?
Life of Pets got 61, so you're pretty
61.
close.
There you go, 61. That'll be the Mario score.
Was Life of Pets the one where they put every single one of the good jokes in the trailers?
That's
most
every
movies
film
these
ever.
days, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's the one with Louis C.K. in it.
Yes.
Oh.
However, I'm 33. I don't think that film was made for me. So
there's also that. Is it just me, or
yes.
Has there ever been a good use of the phrase live-action CGI hybrid? I'm trying to think of one. I can't think of one. If anyone can think of one, let me know. Okay.
That's most movies, isn't it?
Not really.
We've used CGI to make to do all the effects these days, and every bloody movie's a CGI hybrid.
You're a CGI hybrid, Tim.
Live action CGI hybrid.
You're a gamer
refers
tag.
to something.
You're a gamer tag. I mean? Your mum's a gamer tag.
Good.
Carry on.
We just said gamer tag, so we could really easily segue into what I was going to talk about.
All right, then. Go on then.
So, set up then.
Yeah.
Your mum's a gamer tag. There we go. Set up, done.
Okay, well, speaking of gamer tags, as we have mentioned them a couple of times this week, I didn't play much this week, partly through busyness, partly through illness, but I did get a chance to do something which I've been meaning to do for a couple of weeks. Basically, I got given an early version of something that is going to be making a fairly big splash on Twitch fairly soon. You'll see
a bucket of water.
Well, no, you'll see it on the front page of Twitch, and it's the first time they've ever done this with a documentary, apparently. And it's a documentary that's coming to that. And it's, as I said, Gamertag. It's Gamertag Radio for anyone that used to listen to them and still does. The full name of the documentary is Gamertag Radio, a podcast story. And for anyone that doesn't know, we literally wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Godfrey of Gamertag Radio. Danny Penner, as his name is. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of your surname, Danny, and I apologise profusely. You'll have to educate me on how to do that. But generally speaking, super nice guy, and you alluded to me mentioning the E3 thing, and it's coming up. I don't know if Coleman has access to the bell. Yeah, I managed to jump on their podcast one time and just guest on very briefly when I was at E3 and those guys were there. But for anyone that doesn't know, basically, I've always referred to Danny as the Podfather, basically, because there are literally so many people that, and so many people that probably aren't even aware of this, that like podcasts and only podcast because someone directly related to Danny had help from Danny to get their podcast off the ground to start with, especially in the realm of video game podcasts. He was one of the first people to get, in fact, his doing of like audio shows based around gaming predates podcasts. He goes back that far, but he was one of the first people to actually get a podcast going when iTunes actually kind of started adding podcasts to their list of things. And he literally was, I don't know how much involvement, but he definitely had some direct involvement in helping Sarcastic Gamer get their podcast off the ground. And Gamertag Radio used to be in a thing called the Gamercast Network, which was also with some other podcasts I used to listen to, Uncle Gamer and Sarcastic Gamer, which is where Dan and myself and a lot of other people from BigRedBarel originally came from.
Hello.
There are so many people that literally owe their kind of podcasting careers directly or indirectly to someone that Danny's helped. And he's one of those people that, and they mention this regularly throughout the podcast, but he's one of those people in life that he gets a few steps ahead and then he checks behind to see who else he can bring with him, basically, kind of thing. He's that kind of guy. And like podcasting, in particularly game podcasting, like owes him a debt of gratitude. And I am firmly in that tank as well, like in that kind of area of thinking. And yeah, the documentary kind of goes through the history of this and the history of kind of when the two other hosts joined him throughout the story. He like originally started doing things with Phantasy Star Online back in the day on Dreamcast. And did a podcast with his brother, and that's kind of where this came from. But this documentary like tells you the whole story. It's really quite heartwarming in places. I was watching this in a very, very dusty office at one point. Very dusty. Wasn't very dusty at the beginning of the thing. Very dusty halfway through.
What were you doing?
I was not crying at all. It was dusty, Dan.
Oh, you're having a wank. That's all right, then.
It was dusty. It's just the kind of emotion that comes through in the gratitude that other people have for him. And as much as I think he's aware and proud of kind of some of the stuff he does, it's something where I don't think he's ever necessarily taken the time. He's never the type of person to kind of hold or lord that over people. He's always been like really friendly to new people. He's pulled other people into podcasting and blogging in general. And it's something where when I originally started doing what I started doing in London and England, I replicated what he did because I was like, that is the way I'd like to be and that is the attitude I'd like to take into this. And I literally aped exactly, the attitude that he had because it's the way I'd like to see people in the world type thing. And as I said, like it just takes you through the story of Gamertag Radio. And I won't kind of, it's still worth watching the documentary. It's about an hour or so long and it kind of goes into it in quite great depth. And just all the people that kind of thank him. And a lot of the people I saw along the way was like, hey, it's him, I know them, kind of thing. And like, for instance, Doc was one of the people. Jeremy Adams was one of the people. And he was talking about and referenced Sarcastic Gamer and talking about everything that he did to help with Extra Life and all that side of things. And then we saw our old friend from Sarcastic Gamer days, Brian Austin, who we've met up with and seen a few times since, but it was nice to see his friendly face as well. And I don't know if you remember Nelson Rodriguez.
Yes,
but I think he did something with. He either did something with his own podcast. I'm not sure if it was attached to the Gamercast network as well. But Danny kind of helped him out and they were friends to start with. And then he ended up being one of the first people that got on to doing like the Xbox videos on your dashboard type thing. He was doing the American side of that, basically, Nelson Rodriguez. And I think still works for Microsoft today, basically. But originally he was someone that kind of Danny helped out and helped on board and stuff like that. And it was really nice to see that gratitude focused in Gamertag Radios and Danny's direction. And as I said, it got quite emotional at some stages of people that are just really kind of heartfelt kind of thank yous for Danny and everything he'd done. And then Danny's reaction to those heartfelt things, that back and forth, that got quite emotional. Maybe more so for me than in general, but I could still see other people getting emotional at that stage as well. And just in terms of, taking it aside from one thing, it's also just a really well-produced, well-done documentary and stuff. And, they've got, like, footage of their old shows, which is quite interesting. And I hadn't seen some of the, like, videos of Danny from back in the day from before I knew him as well and stuff like that. It was quite interesting. But, yeah, just in terms of, how well it was produced and just from, an interesting perspective side of things. Even nothing about podcasting, I think this would make for an interesting documentary review just because it's an interesting story, basically.
Okay. So that's the thing I wanted to ask, because Gamertag Radio, I'll let you know now, I've heard of Gamertag Radio, I've seen them pop up in charts and things. I've never listened to Gamertag Radio.
Bloody millennials.
All right, thank you. I came from a different site. I came from 103.2, and then like when that's how my audio thing happened. So I didn't have this whole background. I think you guys were the first gaming podcast that I started listening to when it was
Look,
SGUK.
well, that ended you up.
yeah. See, God, if I went Podcast Beyond or something, I'd be working at IGN right now.
Yep.
So you think that would hold my interest because, like, from the description you give, you're very passionate about this. You know a lot of people from it. You've listened to their shows and stuff. You think that's going to work on someone who's an outsider like me? Because from your description, I'm not. Really
but I think you'd find it interesting, and again, this might add an extra layer of interest for you. I think you'd find it interesting just because it's a story about a podcast, basically. You know what I mean? And you are inherently interested in podcasting, and so I think that does add another level of interest. Until he killed your passion.
Might have completely driven him insane with it.
but yeah, I mean, as I said, I think even if you didn't know anything about them, not only is it worth watching, but when you finish watching it, you'll probably go and download their podcast when you're finished because they'll probably endeared themselves to you that much. The other thing I'll add is the
Harmontown effect on me.
The other thing, for anyone that doesn't know, is Gamertag Radio has always had a kind of association with hip hop, which always kind of appealed to me to the point where it was a bit odd that I got in with Sarcastic Gamer more than I did with Gamertag Radio back in the day because they just happened to cover two of my interests, kind of thing. and I guess being sarcastic was possibly another one of my interests, but still. But yeah, so that does add another kind of thing to it. They've always had a slight association with hip hop, and there's been a back and forth with like them having hip hop artists that they've interviewed about gaming and just other things like that. But there is no one in like the video game sphere of blogs and podcasts in the gaming sphere and the games industry in general. There's no one in America that doesn't know Danny, basically. Like, he is the center of everything, and yeah, lots of other people owe their careers in video games, in the video game industry, or in podcasting in general, to him and his passion and love for gaming and podcasting.
He's genuinely a top fella, I have to say.
Yeah.
Genuinely. And it's nice that he's getting some light thrown in his direction and being put front and centre on Twitch. So, well deserved, I think.
And I can't say enough nice things about the guy, so please, go and check it out in general interest, but also just go and check out their podcasts and everything they do, because they're all great people as well. And I should probably give Paris and Pete a shout out as well, because they're both top blokes. And Paris came over to London one time, and I gave him a very bad gaming tour of London. But anyway,
that could have gone so many ways.
Tour of London.
Well, it was like, hey, this is Trafalgar Square. This was in The Getaway.
Oh, right. I thought you meant, this is Brick Lane. Let's get out our Digimon.
No, but it was like, here's a London landmark, and you would have seen it in the following games, quite a thing. I thought it was quite an interesting
Here
thing.
we
for a
are
group
at
of
Soho
bloggers,
Square. Hey. Get ready for LARPing.
Yep.
But they were also like taking me around and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, not sure. It might be the cenotaph.
Oh, I always make that stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here is the building.
Where Winston Churchill liked to be a b-boy.
Yes. Here is where Queen Elizabeth II regenerated for the 37th time, which was a series first. It's the first female queen in the history of the show.
I like taking outsiders to Earls Court Road for the first time, where they see the police phone box. It just blows their mind. They're like, wait, that's a real thing?
My favourite thing, because my dad, because we had a couple of American peeps come over when I was a lad, and he always used to kind of take them on a bit of a tour where we lived. And there's like some properly old buildings in St Albans where I come from, and he'd like go to them. Yeah, so.
Roman old, basically.
Like Roman old, like this was built, the Abbey, they started to build it back in 463. And they went, wow, 1463, that's really old. They went, no, 463.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Almost went to Snake again there.
Around David Hayter.
Yeah, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that building's really old.
I like the way you say aluminum.
Say it to me again.
You crazy Brits, and the way you say cookies are biscuits.
And gravy's a completely different thing, and biscuits what's a scone? Oh my God.
Soccer, football.
Before we start going down the Metal Gear scone route,
Metal Gear.
Save us, Mr. Coleman.
Yo.
Have you actually been playing anything this week?
I've been playing Disc Jam on the Switch.
Excellent.
Is that where you just jam a disc into a Switch?
Shut your face.
I've been a Munter Hunter.
You may have heard of this game already. You may already have this game already, because this was on PlayStation Plus, I believe, a few months back. March last year, in fact. This is Disc Jam. This is a game where it's kind of like tennis, air hockey, where you
Is this the Frisbee game one?
Yeah, it's a competitive Frisbee game.
Is it Windjammers?
Yeah, so this is Disc Jam and not Windjammers like I thought it was when I requested it.
That's quite funny.
Is it online only, though?
No.
Because I swear it was on PSN.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
You started talking about the game. Right.
I have a question.
Oh, God.
If it was a jam, if it was an actual jam, what flavoured jam would it be?
Disc, obviously, you
pineapple.
moron.
Pineapple jam. Okay.
My favourite jam.
Now, I have a question. This is something that even I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between jam, marmalade, and a preserve?
I don't know.
Could it equally be one of those?
No.
No?
Shut up.
Could it be disc
Shut up.
marmalade?
Stop it.
Right.
Right. Disc Jam, much
Disc
like
jelly.
Windjammers, is a competitive frisbee-type tennis game. So, unlike the 2D nature of the Neo Geo Windjammers, which came out to PS4 and Vita, Disc Jam, which I believe is PC, PS4, and Switch, this is more of a 3D affair. You can play single or double type matches, and the idea is you're throwing a frisbee and you're bouncing it off sides. It's kind of like Pong. It's basically Pong tennis, but with a frisbee. And it's kind of set up to look like it's meant to be a sort of in the vein of Rocket League, where everything's a bit more extreme and there's explosions and stuff, and it's sort of easy to jump in and out. Unfortunately, it's very boring.
Right.
It's it's again like Tim mentioned. I don't know if the previous games are, like he said, only available online. This one has, like, as a default, it tries to go into online, but it has split screen modes where you can use the Joy-Cons and stuff, or it has kind of practice modes. It has things where it will download a ghost of a different player so you can play against them offline as well.
Okay.
But I'm finding the game very easy on all difficulty levels. It is literally a game of someone throws you a frisbee, you catch frisbee, you throw frisbee quick enough and make sure you curve the frisbee and it will land in the goal every time.
So there's like no variety between stages, between, character movesets, nothing like that.
I believe the characters, they're meant to have different moves and things that you can customize, because you get a set amount of characters which are sort of, hey, this guy's the muscular black dude, this guy is the redneck, this woman is the Asian ninja, those kind of characters. And you pick one of those, you change their costume, you change a couple of taunts and things, and I think you can pick a special move for them. But other than that, that's kind of the end of your customization to it. The stages are very samey. There's no, whereas like in Rocket League, it's like, okay, it kind of launched with, this is the pretty much all the same kind of stage but different backgrounds, and then later on they went, this is the basketball stage, this is the ice hockey stage, this is one with a black hole in the center and that kind of stuff. There's none of that. It's all just kind of disc jam arenas, sort of. I guess. Yeah, all very much the same type of thing. And I think the most enjoyment you can get out of this is playing multiplayer. If you have it on the Switch, it's good for just setting up the kickstand while you're out and then taking a Joy-Con
having
each
a roof party, inviting someone called Karen over.
I remember when I played the PlayStation version that, and I think it was given away on PlayStation Plus on that, and then I think I played the tutorial bit and went, oh, this could be quite good, and then there was no game to play. Like, unless you were playing online against other people, I couldn't find any game to play. So I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll ask Coleman if he fancies learning this game, and then maybe we can play some, and then that never happened.
We never got to it. I've downloaded it.
Yeah.
I'm finally playing it now, because I thought it was Windjammers. And, yeah, but I've been playing it on one-on-ones to begin with, and I had to change that up to 2-on-2s, because one-on-one is literally, he's thrown the disc, I've caught the disc, I've thrown the disc, it's gone in the goal. And it's been that till just repeat till death. And I've kind of need to put it on 2-on-2s because it adds a little bit of variety to it, where you don't know if the AI is going to try score or throw it towards you.
Because didn't Windjammers get a re-release recently as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
There was a whole
I think
point of me
Coleman
talking
mentioned
about
that, but 3 minutes ago.
Okay. But yeah, I can't see why
I
you'd
believe
pick
it was
up
on
this.
PS3 and Vita, wasn't it?
But I don't see why you'd pick up this over that.
Because I think the market they're going for, because Windjammers is very much an exclusive for Vita and PS4, unless you have the original Neo Geo version, then Neo Geo. I believe this is meant to be one that's available on different systems, and so you can play on Nintendo, you can play on PC. As well, I think they try to beat them to the punch by releasing the PlayStation Plus, because they launched on PlayStation Plus on PS4. So I think they were just trying to jump onto that market first.
Right.
I don't think they made this game with the intention of going, hey, Windjammers was a thing, let's make Windjammers. I think they totally meant this as an original game. I think they did try to take some influence from Rocket League and hoped they were making a new Rocket League, but sadly it didn't take off in the way they thought.
I'd much rather someone tried to remake, like, in this style of game, I'd rather see someone remaking a Speedball 2 than a Windjammers. Is that just me?
Didn't they remake Speedball?
Well, I think they did make
They didn't do a very good job of it, though. I mean, I'm not saying it was necessarily the best game ever the first time, but Brutal Deluxe was good back in the day, but hey, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I think this game could do with like some variety modes, some different type, much like Rocket League, different arenas that have different rules and stipulations to them. If it had some kind of party mode to it, with little mini games and maybe some kind of target practice, that could be fun. But otherwise, it's gonna lose interest very quickly.
So, with that being said, then, are you sure it's pineapple jam? Because pineapple jam sounds quite fancy.
I do like pineapple jam. I haven't seen it for a while.
You do that. So have you kind of, is it punching above its weight if you called it pineapple jam?
Fair enough. It's raspberry jam with.
Oh no! Don't you talk crap about raspberry jam, son.
You will besmirch the name of raspberry jam.
You will rue the day where you have dragged the fine name of raspberry jam through the mud, sirrah.
It's raspberry jam with too many pips, too many seeds.
That could be bad. That could be bad.
Oh,
pretty bad.
God damn it! What about like bilberry jam or tripe jam?
I don't know what the hell that is.
Poo jam.
Tripe jam.
You're a tripe jam.
You're a tripe jam.
That's true.
You're a gamer tag.
Yeah, I am. Wait, what?
Made of CG live action hybrid.
A tripe gag. What?
You're a FAFTA.
A tripe tag? Tripe tag. Gamer. No, I'm lost. I'm confused.
You crossed. Don't cross the memes.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. I won't cross the memes.
Anyway, as a Switch game, if you see Disc Jam on sale, like a couple of quid, then it could be worth it for journeys and stuff. But I don't think you're gonna get much longevity out of it. And again, it's available on PlayStation 4. You may have already downloaded it because of PlayStation Plus and just forgotten. Give it a try that way. See if you like it.
And then forget about it again. By the sounds of it, is clearly the optimal way.
Play the tutorial and then never find a friend to play it.
Well, unfortunately for me, it's going to be a local co-op type thing, but I do like the idea of trying this on a 4-player.
Why is that unfortunate for you, hey? Apart from the fact you got to play
because
with me.
It's in its element when it's 2-on-2, and when you're doing 1-on-1 in a 2-on-2 match, that means you're relying on AI. I think if you had a 2-on-2 4-player type thing, I think that would be more enjoyable.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that for another year at least, we are safe from the all-conquering intellect of our robot overlords because they can't play this.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, all right, good. Marvellous. Marvellous. Do we need to finish now, Coleman?
Yeah, we got to finish.
All right, let's finish then. All right.
We always need to finish, Dan.
We always need to finish. So, that's your lot. Tim?
Hello!
Tuesday
is a Tuesday. For anyone that doesn't know, each and every Tuesday...
Apart from when it doesn't happen.
We do an event called Tabletop Tuesday. Each Tuesday we have a different feature game, a board or card game that you can come along and play. And if you play it that evening, you can win yourself a copy by the end of the evening. They're always generally excellent games. And come along and play it for free. You can win it for free by the end of the night. So this week's game is a game I'm really looking forward to playing a bit more of. I'm currently playing it for review as well, so I'm hoping to get a few games in myself next week. And it is a game called Laser Riders.
Pew pew!
And Dan, I actually really think you'd like this game. It's simple but effective.
Right,
which
like
I know
me.
you like.
Good.
But also, it's very 80s themed kind of thing. It's
just like you.
I literally
70s theme, motherfucker.
I've said this before, but I fell in love with the box
20s.
before I even knew what the game was. Basically, the box looks like
so a bit like your approach to choosing wine, Tim. Basically, is what you're saying. I like the label, so I thought it'd probably be all right.
No, because I'm not a heathen that buys wine in boxes. Anyway, right.
I do. Giant straw.
Yeah, just a straw.
It's like a big Capri Sun.
But basically, yeah, it's the box itself is a kind of made to look like an old 80s video cassette box set. And you get like a box set of like 4 different like what look like VHS cassettes, but contain the components you need for each character basically. And it's basically a 4-player game of Tron bikes. You are kind of leaving your trail as you go across the table, and people can't crash into your trail, otherwise I have to like res, and they can't like just crash off the end of the table. So the table you're playing on physically designates the playing area. And yeah, it's a quick and easy to pick up game, but it's really quite good fun. Works quite well in terms of just replicating the kind of Tron bike type things. Doesn't have the Tron license, but it's more ridiculous because of it. Like, the character that I like using is called Laser Shark, for instance.
Sod it, I'm changing my name to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Razor Hell.
I can imagine you going into work tomorrow. Nope, sorry, not Dan anymore. From now on, you're going to have to refer to me as Laser Shark.
Damn straight. Dr. Laser Shark, thank you very much. Exactly, Coleman.
But
damn
as I said,
straight.
Like, if you can't make it along to the event, like, it's worth having a look at this game just to see like the kind of the box art and how it works. But yeah, it's definitely a game worth paying some attention to. It's a nice little filler game. As I said, doesn't take too long to play or too long to learn, but should be a really good one for next week. And I urge everyone to come along and play the game and possibly win a copy by the end of the evening.
Well, splendid.
For anyone that doesn't know, we will be in Loading Bar in Dalston each and every Tuesday doing our event, and you can get more details on the top left-hand corner of the blog on BigRedBarel.com, or you can search Tabletop Tuesday on Meetup, and you can join our Meetup group on there.
Splendid.
Mm-hmm.
Huzzah!
And one other thing, I'll just give a shout out to Loading Bar themselves at the moment, who have announced, there's not full-on details yet, but have been teasing the fact that their new 4th location will be opening soon.
Ooh, is it Slough?
No, unfortunately not for you, Dan. It's another one in London, but it's on the other side of London, so it's in Shepherd's Bush. So look out for more details of that in the next coming weeks as well.
Well, good for them. I'm really chuffed they're going from strength to strength, I have to say. Well, they work bloody hard at it, and they deserve it.
Yep. It's a good concept. And, yeah, we like being helping them be a success, basically.
Indeed, you cheeky scamps. All right, well, I think, now that Tim's reminded us Tuesday is Tuesday, all that remains is for us just to say thank you to a couple of people on Tinterwebs. So from the forums, I would like to say thank you to Stingo, and from Twitter, I would like to say thank you to Sarah and Gabriel. And
I'd also like to thank Nelly, Mark Fraser, and Richard Kirklebolton. Also, just an extra shout out. I know we've already kind of done it already, but thank you very much, Godfrey, for sending me the early copy of your podcast documentary. And yeah, just thank you again for everything you've done for directly and indirectly for my podcasting. So thank you.
Our podcasting, Tim. Our podcasting.
Podcasting. Yes, that's
Arse
true.
Podcasting.
Didn't like to speak for you, sir, but yes, I guess I can in that one.
And on Facebook, thank you to Chris Nichols. And on YouTube, thank you to 1805 and Irashina. Also, talking about expansions, EGX is going to Berlin this year.
Yeah, that was an odd one, wasn't it?
Third EGX outside of England.
God, it's almost like we're not part of Europe anymore. Oh, wait.
The English are invading Germany.
Which I believe as well is 1 week after EGX London. London.
Are we going to be allowed in Eurovision after Brexit?
Doesn't
Australia
matter. No one cares.
is in Eurovision.
No one cares.
So probably not. Because
I do.
They probably like Australia more than they like us now.
It's almost as crooked as FIFA.
To be fair, like, I wouldn't blame a single person in Europe for hating everyone in Britain.
One year, Germany had a song that was a country song that was done by an Australian.
Mm-hmm.
It's bloody ridiculous show.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody ridiculous.
Bloody ridiculous.
I'm probably going to be forced to watch more of that than I want to, but still.
Let's finish.
You love it, really.
Let's finish.
Let's do that. So, that is your lot, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very, very much for listening. Remember to point your internet at something.com/BigRedBarel and see what happens.
You gotta say that some week someone's going to report back to us that something really horrible happened when they did that.
Breitbart.com/BigRedBarel.
Yeah, I think those are thankfully two demographics that don't overlap for our listeners. Well, there we go. Right, we're going. You don't have to because it's your head we're in. So thank you ever so much for downloading us once again. I have been Dan.
I've been Tim.
I've been Coleman.
Indeed you have. So thank you once again, and until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard,
Why not roll on over
to BigRedBarel.com
for more podcasts?
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
Your mum's a gamer tag.